All right, guys, I'm going to be doing another video here on how to pull a turbo out of a 2021 Chevy Duramax. I'm mainly doing this because I did one in the past and I did it the hard way. And since then, I've been taught a much better way to do it. And now that these trucks are a few years old, everyone's getting into doing aftermarket stuff to them. And I still see a lot of people online asking questions, not knowing the best way to do things. So I'm going to show you the best way I feel it is to do it now that I've learned a better way to do it. As always, guys, my videos aren't a nut by nut, bolt by bolt, every little step process. They're kind of a general outline. You know, it's for the guys who know what they're doing, who just want to see someone do it first or need just a general idea of which direction to go. And yeah, so let's get into it. So in my previous video, I pulled the turbo by pulling everything from the front. The alternators, the Y bridge, the EGR cooling pipe, you know, everything up here I pulled to gain access back there. I fought and wiggled the heat shield out. I had to use an extension with a bunch of weird wobblies to get to the 4 bolts on the bottom of the turbo. It works, guys, but it sucks and it's a pain in the ass. The other rumor is you can lift the cab, 4 bolts, you can lift it and get enough flip. That's another way to do it. The way I've been taught and the way that seems easiest to me, and this is the third time I've been in here in like 2 weeks because I'm fighting some nasty exhaust leaks. But what we're going to do is we're actually just going to pull this wiper tray, the wiper motor, all this assembly up here to gain access to everything back there. And in my opinion, it gives you way more access. It's way easier to work on. It's not very hard to do. Granted, I do believe this might only work on like the 2020 pluses. I thought someone said it doesn't work on like the 17 through 19s, but yeah, guys, I'll give you a quick step. So first things we're going to do is we're going to pull the air filter assembly. Not necessary, makes it easier just to fight getting the battery out. We're going to pull this battery out. You have to pull this battery out to get this bracket off. It's 2 13mm bolts. Don't forget to disconnect that battery because when you wiggle that thing around, it might arc against there. Been there, done that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pop, like I said, that straight bar bracket off. We're going to take this wire out. And then what we're also going to do is we're going to take all of these 10mm nuts off of all the shit that bolts back here to the firewall. We're not actually going to remove any of this stuff. We're not going to dump any fluids, but we are going to pull those loose so we can wiggle this thing out when we're ready. We're going to pull all those clips off. You're also going to pull the wiper arms. There's a bolt under the cap, and then we'll get to the wiper motor, etc. All right, guys, so when you're getting those accessories off, just don't forget, you got 3 bolts here, 1 down there on this plastic bracket that holds that wire loom that comes across, 1 on your antifreeze overflow, your coolant overflow, and it helps to take that bolt off and that bolt out just to make that move around nice and easy. All right, guys, once you get that plastic removed, there's going to be just a little plastic thing covering the wiper motor, and this is kind of what you'll be looking at. So you just got 2 bolts, a plug, and that bolt over there to get the wiper arm and motor out. And then as you can see, there's some 10mm bolts back in there and a couple of other bolts here on the side. Same on this side. And then, like I said in the first video, we'll bust all these loose, get all the bolts back there, 2 bolts on each side, and then the wiring harness, and then this thing will kind of pull out, like curve out a little bit, and then tuck this way if you get my drift. Once you get that tray out, you can see you got a ton of room now. can get to the heat shields, turbo, everything's right here. Shit ton of room to get whatever tools you need. If you're pulling the turbo, the 4 bolts are down there, pretty easy to get to. So yeah, this is how I would tell you to do it, and probably a bunch of other people who know better than me or knew better than me when I made the first video. In comparison, guys, like I said in the first one, I went from the front back, and it's still a pain in the ass to get there. You got to use all kinds of weird wobblies to get to the turbo, etc. Taking all this stuff off takes, mine's a dual alternator truck, takes a while. You got to take the whole intake off, the intercooler pipe, both alternators, the mouthpiece, the EGR pipe. There's just so much stuff. If you just take out this window tray, I mean, if you're getting after it, it'd probably take an hour the most. And in my opinion, that's the best way to do it, rather than obviously going from the front to the back or dealing with trying to lift the cab and a floor jack and having a buddy down there and stretching out your wires, whatever. Super simple. I wish I would have asked around before I did it the first time, but I didn't, but now I know. And just for reference or tips, I mean, I'm not pulling the turbo today. Well, hopefully not. I'm just checking these gaskets between the DOC and the turbo itself, or the SCR, whatever you call that thing. The cat back there is a big giant cat under these heat shields. But if you are doing up pipes, I did up pipes last weekend on this truck. So the pedestal is right under here. Obviously your up pipes come off the manifold behind the back of the block to the bottom of that pedestal. There's 3 bolts on the top, 3 bolts on the manifold. But just a word of advice, because I've seen some people fighting it. Chances are you're going to break the bolts on the up pipes into the pedestal. Now the pedestal is like 4 bolts to pull out. It's pretty easy. If you want to spend all day drilling, easy outing, whatever, to get broken bolts out, that's cool. But I'll also tell you that pedestal, I mean, from my local dealer, was like 140 bucks. But if you're doing up pipes and turbo or a bunch of other stuff, if you're touching the up pipes, I would almost just go buy that pedestal. It's pretty affordable, way better than drilling and tapping for hours. Believe me, been there, done that. So yeah, guys, that's what you're working with. As you can see, way more room. Hopefully this helps you all out, and hopefully I figure out where the exhaust leak is coming from, because I am tired of fighting this thing. All right, guys, this is the last part of the video. I just wanted you guys to see what it looks like once you get that SCR or DOC out of the way. As you can see, wide open access to your up pipes. But yeah, once you're there, everything's pretty easily accessible. Your 4 bolts to pull the turbo. There's a pedestal I talked about replacing. And yeah, so there you guys go.